What's going on, everybody? My name is Mr. Leong, and welcome back to another episode of the Startup Starter Kit. Thanks for tuning in to the videos, and I appreciate your support on this channel as I try to grow it to something that's going to help you to start, grow, and manage your own business. This is a video dedicated to employee engagement. How do we light the fire so that they're not only satisfied with their work environment, but we get the employees from here to a level that really drives performance for your business. We want employees to be engaged, we want them to be motivated, and we want them to do some amazing work. But what are some things that are going to disincentivize or incentivize them to really try their best and to create some work that's transformative? So this video is a list of some practices that I feel are effective to really motivate and engage your employees. Let's get started. All right, if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, check out some of the videos I've posted, and if you find it interesting, I'm going to post a lot more content about starting a business and also some business scoops, some news, and some economic current events that might be interesting for you to read about. So the employer-employee relationship. In the past two videos, I've been talking about culture, recruitment, onboarding, and how to really build effective teams. All of these are important to fostering positive employee experiences. But that's only really the tip of the iceberg because those topics are important, but we really want to get down to the brass tacks in terms of what really drives employee engagement. Yes, culture helps, team building helps. But in this video, I'm going to share some tips about specific ways on how to effectively manage your relationship with your employees so that you promote engagement and you foster an environment where they're being used to the best of their abilities and their performance is at an all-time high, or just in general pretty good. Remember, it's really important to understand that while satisfaction is important, we don't just want employees to be satisfied like, hey, I'm just going to punch in some hours, do the work and sort of averagely and, not create any value for the company. We want them to be thrilled to come to work. We want them to be engaged. We want them to better conduct their jobs with vigor, motivation, and passion in a transformative way. So how do we get from, I'm satisfied with my work to I'm really, glad that I joined this company and I'm producing work that I'm happy about. So how do we get from A to B? Well, stay tuned for this video and I'll let you know about some tips and some strategies. So Herzberg came up with a theory called Motivation-Hygiene, and we look at job satisfaction and job dissatisfaction. And his idea was that these two things are separate. There are things that really significantly motivate individuals to work harder, to create more value for the company. And there are things where if it's not addressed, it can decrease the overall performance of the employee. So we have motivators and the motivator factors, and we also have hygiene factors. So if we don't provide adequate supervision, conditions, salary, security, and relationships, and we don't manage the employer-employee relationship well, they cause job dissatisfaction and they affect the overall performance of the employee. Whereas motivators are things that are going to improve. So we look at things that improve overall performance for an employee and things that, if not addressed, will decrease the overall performance. So motivators include things like recognition and achievement, responsibility, meaningful work, and growth opportunities. Improving these factors is going to significantly help job satisfaction and motivate workers to work harder. So there are things that are going to improve job satisfaction as a whole, motivate workers to work harder, but there's also factors that, if not addressed, could also negatively affect the overall working environment and performance for the employee. So there's two different distinct areas. Now I'm going to share with you some tips as to how we can really tap into these motivators, but also address some of the hygiene factors that are prevalent in any working environment. One of the most important things you can do for your employees is to set realistic expectations. Set clear, realistic goals for your employees. What's important, smart goals, and to ensure that they are on the right page. You don't want to, set unrealistic goals, employees can't reach them, and then they become disenfranchised. You also want to ensure that the goals are appropriate for the overall company's vision and mission. Work and engage employees also in one-on-one meetings. How can we best support them in their professional development? But also, how can we get their performance to align with the company's overall mission and purpose? It's important that you support your employees in their goal setting, development, make sure that the KPIs or key performance indicators are met so that when everything is lined up and in sync, this can really drive value and performance for your business. Second, communication is so important. Sometimes you have to, be frank and offer, constructive criticism or feedback for things. But in general, communication is not just about the words that you say, but also nonverbal communication, eye contact, physical presence, and you want your employees to be in a safe, supported working environment. I like to opt for face to face as much as possible, but you also want to listen to your employees, you know, take some time to really implement the feedback and to listen to your employees because they have some opinions about the business, about ways to make it a little bit better, to improve the KPIs or to improve the metrics. So there's a lot to learn from employees. It's important that you take time to sit down and really listen and have a frank conversation with them. I find that a lot of times communication, especially in larger organizations, is done very poorly. And, I guess it's because of the number of people involved. But for a small business, you have that opportunity to really build strong connections and bonds with your employees. And you can set the tone for your organization and just the physical manner that you act and the way you use your words to engage your employees and to drive motivation. Praise is important as well, and the choice of words that you have is really important in developing a positive employer-employee relationship. The next thing that might be relevant for driving employee engagement is providing opportunities for training and development. Employees want to know that their employers are there to support them and they want to invest in your growth. You can work with employees to identify and hone existing skills, focus on leadership, delegation, or even support them in learning specific software, such as JavaScript or Java or HTML or C++. When you invest in your employees, they feel more attached to the company. You want to create a culture of learning, growth, and progress. Provide adequate training and education, and foster mentorship opportunities when possible. So this point really hits home for me because, as a co-op student or a previous co-op student and as a summer camp activity leader, I've worked in the office as well. It's really important, through my perspective, that there was adequate training and support. I wanted to know that the employer was there to support me in my growth and to really hone in some specific skills. Again, when employees choose places to work, they want to see that they're going to be there for the long haul. They want to feel safe, supported, but also that the employer wants to invest in your growth. And I think this is a key opportunity to really drive employee engagement. This is why, companies like Starbucks have a very low employee turnover because they really value their employee contributions. As you can see, as they subsidize some of the tuition, and they really want to create a positive working environment. And you'll find that with a lower employee turnover, you really get to focus on developing a positive, strong relationship, and you really get to understand your employees. So this is a very critical point. 4 is an interesting scenario because sometimes this occurs in a lot of businesses and sometimes it doesn't, but conflict resolution. Employees can't be productive if they're worrying about stress, tensions amongst their supervisors or other coworkers. So you want to establish policies and procedures for identifying conflict and how to resolve it in a peaceful manner. So you can focus on mediation, empathy, getting them to communicate in a positive manner, do some creative problem solving, and focus on really listening. Listening is so important in conflict resolution and trying to find common grounds. For me, some of the most important things when it comes to conflict resolution: modeling respect, a positive tone, and the choice of words in a very stressful situation. And again, this all goes down to how you communicate with your employees. Your communication style is going to dictate the overall organizational culture. If you treat your employees with respect and you want to be there to support them in their growth, this is going to reap some positive dividends or some positive benefits for your organization. So conflict resolution and having the proper procedures to address conflict in the workplace is going to be important in ensuring that your employees are fully engaged in their work. And finally, we think about recognition. And for me, if you want employees to be engaged in their work, you want to find ways to show appreciation. When you are direct, positive in your praise, you help them to feel more satisfied about their job. Once in a while, it's nice to say, hey, that was a really good work on the file. I like that you were very detailed in your approach. And that just, sometimes it seems like kind of a pointless comment, but it can really brighten their day sometimes if it's like a couple of words. And this just shows that you're thoughtful and that as a business owner or a CEO, that you recognize that their contributions to the company are important. It's also, I guess, essential to remember important dates such as their birthday, work anniversary, and find meaningful ways to highlight some of the good work done by your employees. Recognition can drive employee engagement and motivation for your business. So there you have it. There are some 5 things that I think really help to promote positive employee engagement and motivation within the workplace. You want them to feel passionate about their work and you want them to feel excited to really create value for your business by investing in them, by treating them fairly, by communicating in a positive manner. Recognition and achievement, these things can really help promote and are motivator factors for an individual. Obviously, there are things that we can't really adjust, such as salary and the work environment. But if you focus on accentuating those motivator factors, but also keeping an eye on some of those hygiene factors, you can really create an environment that's inviting, that inspires them, and really drives them to do better for your business. But really, one of the most important things you can do for your own employees is to trust them. They need to feel supported, and if you're always trying to micromanage and do every single thing on their daily to-do tasks and lists, you're not really giving them the autonomy to grow and to really learn from their own mistakes. It's really important that you hired them for a reason. Trust them, let them do their work, and be a mentor, be a supporter, but don't actually do the work for them. Because if you're always trying to micromanage and critique and criticize every single thing that they do, you're not really trusting them and they won't feel confident in performing their daily tasks and activities. And that was the video on employee engagement and motivation, how to get the most out of your employees and to maximize their performance for your business. Thanks for tuning into this video. In the past few videos have been dedicated to human resource management, and I hope you found this to be successful. I've got some new videos on some production and logistic tips for your business, so I hope you stay tuned. And once again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button for me, Or even better, subscribe to my channel for some more business basics content. Thanks again, and I'll see you later, alright? Bye-bye.